Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another live episode of the Format Podcast. Yes. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it if you're here. Gonna have my main man Eugene here. He was here with me last week. We had some good content, and this week we're gonna do the same, but we're gonna do it better. So we're definitely gonna talk about it. Got some awesome topics on tap for you. So stick with me. But before we get to all that, if you haven't already and you're here on YouTube, please go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. Make sure you're notified whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast and you haven't already, please open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in the Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, please give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And remember, put it on your calendar, set it on your phone, set an alarm, whatever you got to do every week, every Saturday evening here at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing these live shows, and it's ready to go, man. I got some good stuff for you today, so let's make it happen. Isiah Thomas was on the Draymond Green Show earlier in the week, and I thought that it was a pretty good interview. I'm not going to say it was a great interview. It was a good interview, and Isiah had a lot to say. Of course, he had to talk about the Jordan thing, and realistically, as a guy who went to journalism school, if I'm interviewing Isiah Thomas as well, I'm going to ask him about the Jordan stuff, right? I get it. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into that, but the fact of the matter is, no matter what Isiah says and no matter what he explains to us, and he makes a lot of fair points, at the end of the day, Isiah's voice just does not carry the same way Michael Jordan's voice carries in NBA circles and among NBA fans. It's just not. And every single thing that you're telling Isiah could be the truth, but you just can't win this one. You're going up against Michael Air Jordan. Like, there's nothing you can do. And it also doesn't help that you're on wax on many different occasions, flip-flopping back and forth about who's the greatest of all time. Have you heard that stuff, G?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. I mean, you got some cases he's saying, back in the day, he's saying Michael Jordan's the greatest. Then he's saying Kareem is the greatest. Now he's saying LeBron. It's like, okay, come on, which one is it? And clearly, you can see obviously The Last Dance and the revived angst and animus between those two has a lot to do with how he's talking about Michael Jordan now. And the thing I say about this, and I'm going to get your opinion on Zeke in a minute, G. The thing I say about it that really frustrates me is that this Michael Jordan, Isiah Thomas thing is so tough because people don't realize now what a great player Isiah Thomas was. Because this whole thing is just making like a caricature of him and what he has been as a basketball player. Like, did you play 2 or you played the 1, G?
2.
Okay, so you're not a point guard, but you are a guard. So you know what type of elite player Isiah Thomas was. Give me your thoughts on him as a player.
I thought he was he opened the floor for a lot of other players. I mean, his ball skills was phenomenal. His ball handler, mid-range jump shot. He was a true point guard. He was a true and a champion. So, I mean, his words does weigh something though. It is worth something. Anytime you win a chip and you're the leader of your team, which was a rival of Mike's. So it's good commentary to see them two, like, kind of not them two go at it, but to hear him flip flop. That could be
right.
You're just not feeling him.
Yeah. To me, it's frustrating because you look at what Isiah Thomas was able to do, and this is the thing that I always point to. Like, he won in high school, and then he won a national championship in college with Bob Knight. So he knows how to play the game the right way. He knows how to think the game. And then he went to 3 straight finals and won 2 championships and put up one of the guttiest performances in NBA Finals history on that ankle. And you can go look that up for yourself because that was absolutely incredible. And we know what type of player this dude was, right? And clearly now, him being kept off the dream team, you could see how much that's eaten at him for all these years. And then, of course, finding out that Mike had something to do with it and blah, 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 like that's killing him. And so it seems like every interview he goes on and everywhere he goes, he's trying to plead his case. And I get it, but Isiah, you got to let that go because it's making it even worse that Mike is just sitting back, not even saying anything. Like, Mike don't care.
Yeah.
You heard Charles Oakley say it. Hey, Isiah, stop. Mike don't like you. Like,
everybody's not gonna like you.
Right. Everyone's not going to like you. But I think what's frustrating, Isaiah, like I said, is that his basketball legacy is also being forgotten in the midst of this. But I mean, there's no way to win it. So you just got to chill, sit back, and let what you did speak for itself. Eventually, this thing will calm down and play out, and people will be able to go back and look and say, yo, this dude was a problem. Because he also was like one of the original guys who was a scoring point guard. But still, I think he averaged 9.3 assists for his career. So he's dishing the rock, he's running the offense, he's playing D, and he could still score if you needed him to.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's tough. But anyway, I kind of digressed on that. But one of the other topics that I wanted to get to is that while on that interview with Draymond Green, he brought up the topic that Kevin Durant, when he went to the Warriors, saved the Warriors' legacy. And I thought that was really interesting. And so I'm going to play the clip, and then I'm going to come back and get your thoughts, and then I'll get my thoughts on it. So check this out.
Before Kevin Durant arrived in Golden State, y'all were on the verge of and being remembered as the team that went 73-9 and lost to a Cleveland Cavalier team in the finals, 3-1. You up 3-1, and probably one of the biggest collapse in NBA Finals history from a 73-9 historical team. Kevin Durant comes that summer and really saves y'all basketball legacy. And you win 2 championships after that. And now you're the Golden State Warriors dynasty that you're going to go into the Hall of Fame on and everything else. It is cemented, because if Durant don't come that summer and you guys are remembered as the 73-9 team that lost 3-1 in the NBA Finals, all of your legacies are different. So all of you with Kevin Durant, y'all are, right? And that was a powerful moment in sport that he should be rewarded for, but also your team should be rewarded for accepting a juggernaut like that and being able to incorporate it. And what y'all did was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
All right, G. So I'm not even gonna talk. I'm gonna let you talk first, man. What are your thoughts on his commentary about KD saving the legacy of the Warriors?
Saying that prior to him coming, that they would have lost in the finals 3-1, or if they wouldn't have picked him up, they would. I didn't kind of understand it. So the summer that they went 70, or the season before they went 73 wins, 73-9, right?
Mm-hmm.
They added Durant. Is that correct?
Because they lost in the finals that year, right? Okay. They didn't finish the deal.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a valid point. You can say that, but I mean, who's not going to win with those guys, right? I mean, that's. I thought that was a little payback, right? I think that was a little payback from for LeBron, right? That was a little payback. That's all that was. But it kind of happens. KD is a phenomenal scorer. His range is limitless. He can hit from anywhere past the half court. He got this move where he push hard left and then go behind his back and pull up as a 7-footer. That's fucking hard to defend. There's a bucket every time. Zeke is getting old, man. So sometimes, you listen to him, you're like, oh man, what the hell is he talking about? And he makes sense, but that's like common knowledge, right?
So, I don't completely agree with Zeke on this. And let me tell you where I'm coming from. So obviously the Warriors won their first championship in 2015. I believe that was Steph's MVP, his first MVP season. And they followed up the following year, absolutely on fire, as we know, 73-9. Steph wins, unanimous MVP, only player ever in history to do that. Okay. And they go through, and they're down. They themselves, the Warriors, are down 1-3 in the playoffs against OKC. They come back and close the deal. Kevin Durant can't get it done. He can't finish that. All right. And then obviously they go on to the finals and they get beat after being up 3-1. No team had ever come back in the finals from being down 1-3 to win a championship. And of course, LeBron James gets all the credit for that. And let me be clear, LeBron had an incredible NBA Finals series, and he generally does. Now, a lot of times he has incredible numbers in getting blown out. That's a different story. But in this series that they came back and won the championship, that was a phenomenal series by LeBron. Now, what I want to say is, and I've been adamant about this, if you go back and look, the NBA and Adam Silver gave LeBron a stimulus package, plain and simple. They saved him because those dudes were about to get blown out. And that series was about to be over. But we know the leagues always want a longer series if they can have it, more ad revenue, so on and so forth. They're not left paying make goods. Now, I'm not saying they fixed the series, but by tossing Draymond, nah, man, that series was over. They tossed him, and then, of course, blah, 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 all the way back, right? Okay, cool. Now, as a quick side note, I think I actually did a YouTube short, and I highlighted it. So when LeBron, pulled the move and got Draymond suspended, right? When Draymond was down, LeBron could have went around him to the left. He could have went around him to the right, but he chose to deliberately step over him and disrespect him by putting his man region on the back of Draymond's neck. So, of course, Draymond reacts, and then he gets tossed, and then he gets suspended. Now, a lot of people are going to say that was payback for all the stuff that he was doing earlier in the season and earlier in the playoffs, but that's not how you do it, man. You don't do that in the finals. But anyway, they suspend him for the game, whatever, and the series now, about momentum. Big Mo takes a totally different turn, and obviously the Cavaliers seize it, and the rest is history. But so I look at it like, okay, cool. The Warriors are saying, damn, we blew a chance at being the best team ever, at least record-wise. And they said, okay, NBA, we're going to get you back. That's cool. You set us up. We're going to set you up now. And they went out and they got Kevin Durant. And again, totally upset the balance of power in the next 2 years. It was a breeze. They walked through, win 2 championships. Kevin Durant is finals MVP. And I get it. Kevin Durant played an incredible role in the NBA finals and on those teams. But it's the same argument I like to make. That's like adding a nuclear weapon to an infantry company. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's just, at that point, there's nothing you can do. And they ran through it. And they probably would have got 3 in a row if Durant didn't get hurt, right? Or, well, yeah, he got hurt in that series against Toronto. But the point I'm trying to make is this was a really good, this was a great team. And they had, they were dominant. But to say that he saved their legacies, I would agree with that if we didn't have the bookend championships without him. So you got the championship in 2015 without him. Then you got the championship in, what was that, 2021 against the Celtics, 2022. So they win again without him. 2 years after he leaves, they win again with a similar cast. And so I say, okay, we can say all we want that Kevin Durant is the guy who saved their legacy, but how can we say that when they proved they could win without him on 2 different occasions, before and after? So, what are your thoughts on that? I know I was long-winded with that, but where are you on that?
Yeah. I look at KD and, the whole franchise of what Steph has been able to do with Golden State. And I think what happens is a lot of times people don't give him the credit that he deserves. And maybe some of Isiah Thomas comments was directed more at Steph and not so much at glorifying KD, right? Could have been a shot that he do stuff like that. So from one guard to another, right? Like he's not giving Steph his credit because, like you said, he did do it before he was there, and then he was able to do it after. If that answers the question.
Well, one thing I can say, in fairness to Isiah, I think he talks about Steph as being one of the all-time great point guards, but he does also identify that so Steph is, I guess, technically called a point guard, but I think we know he's not really one, right? He's a tweener. He's a small shooting guard. He's what we call a combo guard, right? And so Isiah in this same interview did acknowledge that while Steph is all-time great, he's not really a point guard because he doesn't run the offense, he doesn't initiate the offense. Draymond does all that. He's not the primary distributor. Now, can he do those things? Absolutely. I think in his best year, actually playing the point guard position, he averaged a little over 8 assists a game, and that was back when Mark Jackson was a head coach. So Steph can do those things, but that's just not the way that they run offense. And so, I don't think Isiah was necessarily taking a shot at Steph. I think he really does believe what he's saying, but I just can't get with the premise that Kevin Durant saved their legacies. Because to me, the other problem is you look at Kevin Durant and you say, one, he only got there because he couldn't close the deal against Golden State the previous year, right? So there's that. And then two, you look at it as, okay, he got busy with Golden State, huh?
That was wild.
That was wild, right?
Yeah, that was wild.
But then after he leaves Golden State, he's not happy there. He doesn't feel like he's ever going to get the credit he deserves. Everybody knows that's Steph's team and Steph's city and all that. Fantastic. But now he moves on. He sets up his super team. And for a bunch of other reasons, he can't get over the hump there either. And now he's on another quote unquote super team, right? Loaded up with talent. And chances are he's not going to win a championship there. So now you're wondering, okay, how is he the savior of legacies when he's had his opportunity to prove it elsewhere and he can't get it done? It's like the same argument of, Scottie Pippen saved Michael Jordan. But then you say, well, wait a minute. Scottie Pippen had his opportunities when Mike wasn't there to play on outstanding teams and could not win without Mike. So that's where I am on that. Like, what are your thoughts on KD and being, on other teams that were loaded up with talent and not being able to get the job done there either? Granted, there were other circumstances, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team sport. And so, he going to give you 30, right? 20, 30 points a game. Is he going to stop anyone? I don't know. I don't know if his defense is enough to turn the tide and actually win a chip, right? Without somebody like a Pittman style player or a lockdown defender like a Ron Artest or somebody that can kind of get in and add extra defense on one of your primary players. But I mean, this league nowadays, everybody going bucket for bucket, and there's who can score the most buckets win the game. So, will he get over the top? I don't know.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see it. But at the end of the day, he's an all-time great scorer. He's a 2-time Finals MVP, a 2-time champion. Nobody's going to be able to forget that. But a guy like me, I got to look at the totality and say, he's another one kind of greased the skids. Now, at the same time, they went and got him, right? So was he supposed to say no in that situation? So
yeah. Was that Brooklyn you're talking about or Golden State?
When he went to Golden State.
Okay.
Yeah. They went and got him.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right,
Yeah. That's crazy though. Do you accept? You don't accept, especially if they beat you year before. You don't really accept a play on their team.
I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I don't think I would, but it's a different generation, man. Yeah. A quick side note, it's funny. Kevin Durant and me had the exact same birthday. I'm 10 years older than him to the day. Thought that was kind of weird. Yeah.
Different basketball back then.
That's right.
Yeah.